Okay, so in week 10, we also covered mask tweening. And this is the jumping point from tweening masks to tweening to morphing PNGs. So you got to know how to change mask shapes first, even though in the morph, we're really just copying the entire mask. But you'll see that in that video. All right, so you can mask anything you want. I'm just going to use a solid for this. And I'll make it yellow. There we go. And I'll click OK. It's the size of my comp. Now, if you have your layer selected, any of your tools up here you use, any of your shape tools or your lasso tool you can use to make a mask on that layer, like be it video or a still image. So for this, I will use the polygon because that's what I have selected. I'll just put it right there in the center. Now we're going to need a second layer with another mask. So I'm going to make a layer new, solid. And just so you can see the difference, I'm going to make this one pink. Okay, so we've got pink and we've got blue. Now I'm going to want this next shape to line up pretty closely with the pentagon that I made. So I click the eyeball icon to hide it. But I still have the layer selected, so I can still draw a mask. So let's do a ellipse. We'll do an ellipse. So I click and I drag, and I make it about as close to the size as I can. And I'm going to use my black arrow select tool and move the mask and try and center it on this shape as best as possible because I'll get a better result if it's not moving around. All right, so I now have the two different shapes, the two different masks, and they're each on their own layer. Now, to see masks on a layer, press the M key. And that'll pull up each one. So I'm going to click and add paths to each one. I'm going to set this back to the beginning. So each mask now has a mask path. I'm going to copy this one right here. You can do it with Command C or go Edit Copy. I'm going to hide this layer because I don't really need it anymore because I got the keyframe from it. And I'll do it about the 2-second mark. Click the Add New Keyframe right here. There's my keyframe, and I'm going to paste with Command V where my shape was. Now, it's moving a bit, so if I press Command R to bring up my rulers, that's about the baseline right there. We'll go to right here where the shape is. I've got this selected. Just going to line it up at the bottom. There we go, and it looks like it's rolling off of that one point, which is fairly interesting. So if I want to go back to the pentagon, I just copy this frame over here, go to whatever time I want, insert a new frame, and change the shape like that. So now I'm going from one shape to the other and back again. And that's all there is to it with tweening masks. You just have to make sure you have the different masks you want on different layers, click the mask path, and then copy the keyframe from the mask path to get the information from it to put into the one layer because you want it all to be on one layer, tweening across time. And you can also do this with letter shapes as masks. So I'll show that real fast before I sign off. So let me save this. And then I will do my initial. I'll do M on the one layer. Okay, so we'll make this fairly big like that. And this would look more interesting with some, what's it called, serifs on it. So I'll just grab the first serif font I can find. I will do, let's do Trajan. Okay. So here we have this. I'll shrink it down a little bit. There's my letter M. So I'm just going to duplicate it, double click, make it a W. Line them up as best as possible. Let's do about there. That's looking good. Almost looks like the Charlie Brown shirt. I'm going to right click the M and I will do create masks from text. Now it's a mask. Click the W and create masks from text. So now it's the same exact principle as before. I'm going to just press the M key. There's my mask. I set my keyframe. But first it'd be smarter to do this. So I'll set it right there, and then I'll go about a second, and I'll get the keyframe from here. So I press the M key. There's my keyframe. I'm just going to copy and paste it. I don't need that layer anymore. I'm just going to hide it. I'm going to add a new keyframe right here. Paste it in there. So now we're going from an M to a W. And then if I want to add another keyframe and go from the W to this was whatever shape this was, I'll just grab it and we'll find out because I got a short memory. Paste right here. It looks like it's a circle. So now we can go from the W to a circle. Pretty interesting. And then back to the M. So I'm just going to copy this, add a keyframe, paste it there, like such, and then into the final one, which was the pentagon. So I'm going to click that, hide that layer again, add one more keyframe, select it, and paste in. And now you've got your shapes. And if you want that pentagon to move, because the M is hitting right about here. So I've got the pentagon selected. And with the black arrow tool, the selection, I'm going to do that. Now it's hitting much more interesting in its fashion. So again, that is just morphing masks. As I said before, hitting the 0 key to render it. Just make your layers on different paths. Click the stopwatch for the mask path, and you can copy and paste it all into one layer and morph from shape to shape, however you see fit over time. And then you can add whatever effects or whatever you want for visual interest into it as well.